Hi, and welcome to your at-home beginner's Pilates session. Today we are going to get started in an all-fours position on our mats. So let's bring ourselves down onto the mat. We want to make sure that our wrists are below our shoulders here. The fingers are spread, and there's just a gentle bend in the elbows, so we're not locking out the elbows. The knees are directly below the hips, and the legs are hip distance apart. Feet are flat on the floor. We're going to begin with some spinal movements here to really engage the back body. So we're going to inhale, drop the belly, arching the spine, roll the shoulders back, and then exhale. I want you to push the mat away from you, drawing your belly towards your spine, drop the crown of your head, and round through the spine. Inhale, we're going to arch the spine, rolling the shoulders back, and then as we exhale, we're dropping the crown of the head, scooping the belly up toward the ceiling, and stretching the vertebra apart. Inhale, we arch the spine, and exhale, we round the spine, pushing the mat away. Let's take a couple more. Inhaling in through the nose, and exhaling through the mouth, scooping the belly in. Last one, inhale and exhale, scoop the belly in, and then let the shoulders and the spine come into neutral. We're going to take the knees nice and wide here, bringing the big toes together, and sink back onto the heels. Walk your hands a little bit further out in front. Rest your forehead down on the mat and really stretch and elongate through the spine. Let's get into that deep lateral Pilates breath. We're going to breathe deeply in through the nose, filling the back of the rib cage, and slowly exhale through the mouth, deflating the rib cage. One more breath like this. Inhale in through the nose, and exhale out through pursed lips, deflating the rib cage. Amazing work. Now we're going to walk our hands toward our knees, coming into a kneeling position, and then we're going to bring our feet forward on the mat. Find the center of your mat. We're going to sit with our feet hip distance apart, our ankles, our knees, and our hip bones lined up. Feet are parallel. I'm going to place my hands under my thighs here and just tilt the pelvis forward so we're really elongated up through the spine. So the spine is nice and long, the shoulders are down, and the chin is parallel with the floor. We're going to practice one of the key Pilates positions, which is C-curve. So in order to go into our C-curve position with the spine, we need to get some curvature in the lumbar spine. So the lumbar spine is naturally extended. In order to get curvature in the lumbar spine, we really have to draw our lower abdominals in toward our spine to get that rounding. So it looks like this. Inhale, we're going to keep the hands behind the thighs. And as we exhale, we're just going to tilt the pelvis back and slowly start to engage those lower abs, pulling them in toward the spine as we start to create the shape of a capital C with the spine. As we straighten the arms, we're going to inhale here. And as we exhale, we're pulling the belly in, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in, and then lift up, pressing into the backs of the thighs, straightening the spine. Let's take a couple more like that. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back, engage those lower abs, pull them in toward the spine, gently straightening the arms. Shoulders are down away from the ears, and the feet stay in contact with the mat. Hold here, abs are in, deep inhale, and exhale, pull your belly in toward your spine, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in, the whole way up. Amazing work. Let's take a couple more like that. Inhale here. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back, keeping those legs parallel, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, pulling those abs in. Hold, deep inhale, and exhale. Keep those feet planted into the floor as you pull up, stretching and lengthening through the spine. Inhale. And exhale, curve the spine into the shape of a C. Roll back a little bit further if you can, keeping those feet flat on the floor. Deep inhale and exhale, abs in, the whole way up. Now, if you're comfortable here holding onto the backs of your thighs for support, then stay this way. If you want to pick up the level of challenge just a little bit, we're going to float the arms out in front. Palms are facing in, arms are at shoulder height. We're going to inhale here and exhale, rolling it back, Only go back as far as you can with abdominal engagement. If you start to lose control, you've gone back too far. Abs are in. Deep inhale here and exhale. Abs in, abs in, abs in the whole way up. Lengthening up through the crown of the head. Deep inhale here. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back, going back, going back. We don't want it to be straining the spine, so stop. If you start to strain in the spine, don't go back as far. Just go back as far as you can with abdominal engagement. Deep inhale here and exhale. Pull your belly in toward your spine to lift. Nice work. Last one, we're going to come back and we're going to hold. Remember, your hands can be below your thighs if you'd like. Inhale here and exhale. Tilt the pelvis back. Keep those legs parallel. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, abs in, 2 and 1. Amazing work. Draw the belly in toward the spine and lift up. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to slowly roll down. You can use your hands to help you. Abs in, roll down one vertebra at a time, softening your head down onto the floor. So find the center of your mat. Make sure your knees are bent, your legs are hip distance apart, and you want your heels below your knees here. We're going to interlace our fingers like so and place them just under the head. Now, for these next exercises, we're going to be lifting the head, neck, and shoulders up, but we never want to be pulling the head up. We want the head to be resting in those interlaced fingers like a bowling ball in a hammock. We're just providing support for the head. We are going to keep the elbows in nice and wide, so they're not going to be framing our face. They're going to stay out toward the side of the peripheral vision. We're going to inhale here, and we're going to exhale, slowly curl up into a crunch, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat, and then inhale to lower. So I want you to notice right now your spine is in neutral. It means like there's a little bit of space between your low back and the mat. But as you come up, you're going to press your low back down into the mat, slightly turning your tailbone, tucking your tailbone. Inhale to lower and exhale to lift. Inhale, lower, abdominals relax, and exhale, we draw the belly button tightly toward the spine as we lift, nice and slow. Inhale to lower, exhale, lift your head so it rests on top of your shoulders, and then inhale to lower down. Exhale, engage your core, press your low back into the mat, and inhale, relax to lower. Nice work. Keep those elbows out to the side. Breathe out through pursed lips to lift, and inhale, relax to lower. 3 more. And lower, good. Belly button contracts toward the spine. And lower with control. Last one, lift and lower. Now we're going to place the hands on either side of the body, and we're going to try a couple of those without our head supported in our hands. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to come into the Pilates crunch position. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to peel our head, neck, and shoulders up into a curled position so that just the bottom of the scapula are touching the mat. So that pointy part at the bottom of the shoulder blades are going to be touching the mat. Everything else peels up to the point where we're resting our head on top of our shoulders. The arms are by the sides, parallel with the floor. Let's try that again. Inhale and exhale, peel up, rest your head on top of your shoulders, and then slowly roll down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, peel up, a little bit of space between your chin and your chest, and lower on the inhale. Exhale, come up, gaze comes between the thighs, and inhale to lower. Inhale, and exhale up. Nice work. Keep moving through a couple more of those. Make sure your neck isn't straining. So you're resting your head on top of your shoulders, gently tucking your chin every time you come up. And last one, we're going to come up and hold for 4, for 3, abs in, for 2, and for 1. Relax it down. So anytime in Pilates when you're encouraged to lift your head, neck, and shoulders, that's what you're aiming to do, to peel your shoulder blades up off the mat and rest your head on top of your shoulders. Amazing work. Now we're going to bring the right knee in toward the chest. We're going to hold the right shin with the right hand, and then we're going to take the left hand just under the knee. We're going to extend the opposite leg out long and point through the toe. When we point through the toe, we're engaging all the muscles in the leg. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to hug that right knee in a little closer to the chest. Then we're going to switch the legs, bringing the left knee in toward the chest. Inhale and exhale, opposite knee comes in. Inhale to switch, exhale, opposite knee comes in. So really point hard through the toe of the extended leg and breathe out as the knee comes in, drawing your belly button down toward the mat. Good. Inhale to switch, exhale to lengthen through the leg. Inhale and exhale, belly to spine. Inhale, switch, exhale, contract the core. Now, if you feel strong here and you want to try a couple reps with your head, neck, and shoulders up, you can peel up into that Pilates crunch position, resting your head atop your shoulders. Now, if in this position you start to lose the ability to contract those abdominals, or your neck starts to strain, simply lower head, neck, and shoulders down and focus on that core engagement matching with the breath. So as we breathe out and hug the knee in, we're focusing on drawing that abdominal wall down. Good. You can move between the two positions. If that feels comfortable, you can do a couple reps with head, neck, and shoulders up. And if it gets too much, you can relax it down for a couple reps. Nicely done. We've got 4 and 3. Abs in. Last 2, pointing hard through the toe. And last 1, bring both knees in toward the chest. Amazing work. Stretch the legs out long on the mat and roll over onto your stomach. From this position, we're going to take our hands on either side of our shoulders. Forearms are pressing down onto the floor. Legs are about hip distance apart. And we're just going to peel up into Cobra. Make sure your shoulders are rolled down away from your ears, getting a little bit of a stretch through those abdominals. If you're flexible enough to do so, and if it feels comfortable on your low back, you can come all the way up onto your palms, enjoying a nice abdominal stretch. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale, slowly lower down. Great work. Now we're going to move ourselves into an all fours position. So from our all fours position, in our all fours position, we want our wrists below our shoulders and our knees below our hips. Fingers are spread, gentle bend in the elbows. We're going to work through a couple different shoulder positions so that you can feel what's right when you're in this position in terms of protraction of your shoulder blades. So keeping the arms straight, we're going to retract the shoulder blades, meaning we're going to kind of sink down between the shoulder blades, letting them knit together. Then we're going to push the mat away, separating the shoulder blades, pushing up through the heels of the hands. So we're inhaling, protracting the shoulder blades, letting them draw together, and then exhale, letting them separate as we push the mat away. Keeping your gaze down on the floor, not letting your head drop here. Inhale, knit the shoulder blades together. Exhale, push the mat away, protracting the shoulder blades. So retract on the inhale and protract on the exhale. Notice the way your shoulders feel different in both positions. Take a couple more. Inhale, gaze stays down on the mat. And exhale, push the mat away from you. And now let your shoulders go into a nice, neutral, natural position. So for this next exercise, we want our shoulder blades to be slightly protracted. So we're going to gently be pushing the mat away from us, but not fully protracted, that we're really separating those shoulder blades. So I'd like you to make sure that your knees are below your hips and your legs are hip distance apart. We're going to curl the toes and we're going to go into a shin lift position. Plug belly in, so really pull your abdominal wall up toward the ceiling. We're going to inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, we're lifting the knees just so that they are hovering above the mat, so the shins are parallel with the floor. Hold, inhale, and exhale. One more breath, inhale, and exhale, lower down. Really powering up through that upper body and core. Good, we're gonna come up into that shin lift position again. This time we're gonna hold for 2 breaths. So we're gonna inhale to prepare. Exhale, hover the knees so they're parallel with the floor. Inhale and exhale. Lift your abdominal wall. Inhale and exhale, lift the abdominal wall and slowly lower the knees. Amazing work. Okay, we're gonna come up and hold for 3 breaths. So nice and broad across those shoulders, gently protracting the shoulder blades. We're inhaling to prepare and exhaling to lift. Lift the abdominal wall, shins are parallel with the mat. Inhale and exhale, hold. Inhale and exhale, hold. You can do it. Last breath, inhale and exhale down to the mat. Amazing work. Let's take our knees nice and wide and push back into child's pose. Stretch your fingertips a little bit further away from you and lengthen, drawing the armpits down toward the floor. Deep inhale here, filling the back of the rib cage, and exhale. Nicely done. Now we're going to come down onto the forearms. So we're going to place the forearms down onto the mat. Fingers are spread, forearms are parallel, and we want to line up our elbows so they're directly below the shoulders. Now we'll be really careful here not to let the shoulders hunch up by the ears. We want them rolled away from the neck. And then we also want to make sure that we're not overarching in the spine here. We want that pelvis in a nice neutral position. So slightly tuck your tailbone. From here, we're going to extend the right leg out long, and then we're going to lift it to torso height, really lengthening through the toe. We want to make sure that we're balanced across the shoulders here and level across the hips. So our hips are square with the mat. From here, we're going to flex the foot and then point the toe. Flex, lengthening the leg through the heel, and point, lengthening the leg through the toe. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Abs are in. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Now, as you move through these 2 positions, I want you to really focus on squeezing the glutes and firing up the muscles in the legs. Good. Inhale and exhale. Keep both hips even. So we want both hip bones facing down toward the mat. Good. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Now, if your foot isn't already flexed, flex it. We're going to tap the toe down toward the mat and then lift the leg to torso height, squeezing the glute at the top of the lift. Tap and squeeze the bum at the top of the lift. So we're focusing on those left glutes, really firing here by squeezing at the top of the lift. Keep your shoulders rolled down away from your ears. Neck is nice and long. Good. Gaze is on the mat. Tap and squeeze to lift. So don't lift your legs so high that you're overarching in the low back. You want to keep that low back in neutral. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold here, point the toe. Same thing again, but with a pointed toe. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Really lengthen through the toe. 3, 4, last 4, 5, 6, 7, abs in, and 8. Lower the knee, take the knees nice and wide, and stretch back. Enjoying a nice stretch through the spine, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good work. Now we're going to come back into our position with our forearms on the floor, and we're going to work the other side. So make sure those knees are under the hips, elbows under the shoulders. Lengthen through that left leg, lift it up to torso height. Both hip bones are square with the mat as we flex and point. Flex and point. Think of having a nice long spine here. Abdominals are engaged. Gaze is down on the mat. Squeeze the bum and really flex the leg muscles as you flex and point, getting as much length through that heel as you flex and as much length through the big toe as you point for 3 and 2 and 1. If your foot isn't already flexed, flex it now. We're going to tap the toe down to the mat and lift to torso height, squeezing the left glutes. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Good. So we're really focusing on engaging the glutes every time we lift, drawing your belly up toward the ceiling as you breathe out. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Nicely done. We've got 3 and 2. Keep it controlled. And 1. Point the toe. Last 8. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. 4, 6. Abs in. 5, 4. Relax those shoulders. 3, 2, and 1. Lift. Lower the knee. Take the knees really nice and wide and sink back into child's pose. Breathing in through the nose, regulating the breath, and out through the mouth. Inhale. And as you exhale, walk your hands towards your knees. You can come into a kneeling or a cross-legged position facing me. We're going to take a nice deep breath, lifting our shoulders up by our ears. Inhale and exhale, melt them down and back. Inhale, lift, and exhale, round the shoulders down and back. Last 2. Good. Really open up through the chest as you round those shoulders down and back. Amazing work. I hope you enjoyed that beginner's Pilates class, and I look forward to working out with you again next time.